Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. We're back with a brand new Rocket League video, and this is going to be an air dribble or air drag tutorial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all the basis of the steps that I take in order to successfully air dribble. And this is going to be both from the wall and the ground. I do both slightly differently, so yeah, let's see if I can help impart my knowledge onto some others. So the first thing I'm going to be covering is water air dribbles. Now I'm going to go through a few different methods of doing this as well, so you don't always have to do it exactly the same, and you can find a way that suits you best. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to need is knowing how to position the ball. So when you're rolling the ball up the wall, you don't want to be going too fast. If you go too fast, it's going to make it difficult for you to catch up to the ball, and yeah, it's not going to be a great time. Now the other things that I wanted to say quickly was going to relate to the different methods of air dribbling. So what you just saw me do there was I moved the ball up the wall, I hit the ball off the wall, and separately followed it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Now that isn't actually the way that I would usually air dribble, but I've watched a few of my friends whilst we've been having 1v1 air dribble or whatever types of matches, and that seems to be the way that the majority of my friends air dribble. And I have to say, it does seem to be a more consistent method, but it's not the most controlled method. So what I'm going to show now is how I would normally air dribble the ball, and that is jumping off directly with the ball. I don't know why I said directly. Jumping off with the ball. So the ball is going to be constantly in your possession, and it's going to be a little bit easier to control. So I might seem a little bit rusty right now. I've literally just turned on my Xbox and started recording a video, so it might take me a few minutes before I get everything perfect. But yeah, so those are the two different methods that I like to use for off of the wall air dribbles. So the first method is hitting the ball off the wall whilst staying on the wall yourself, and then jumping off to follow the ball. And the other is jumping off with the ball in your possession. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the steps it actually takes to be able to air dribble the ball. So the first thing is, when you're rolling the ball up to the wall, you need to maintain a constant speed. So you want to be going the same speed as the ball or slower than the ball. You don't want to be going faster than the ball, otherwise it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for you to catch up with it. If you're going the same speed as the ball, when you jump off the wall will literally just be on top of your car. Although if you're doing the method where you sort of roll it up and then hit it off and then jump up after, it doesn't really matter too much if you're going to hit it too hard, because either way you're going to be catching up with it. Alright, so so basically the first thing is matching the speed of the ball, which is a very important step. Next is jumping off of the wall. So if I was to just jump off the wall normally, it would just sort of push me back like that. So when you jump off, just press A, nothing else, it just pushes you back. Now when you're air dribbling, it's going to be slightly different. What I'd usually do is I'd get positioned underneath the ball, and as I jump, I just hold the direction that I want to face. So that is to the left side, so I'm going to hold left when I jump off so that I'm facing that direction. And vice versa, if I'm going the other way, I'm going to turn to the right. So I'm going to show you that as an example with the ball. So I'm going to jump off and face towards the left. And now I'm going to jump off without facing towards the left. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't work. So you pretty much have to, when you jump off the wall, just aim the car in the direction that you want to go is basically the easiest way to say that. So either jump off and hold right, or jump off and hold left. The next thing that's going to go along with that is air roll. So if I'm going towards the left, you have to air roll to the right. So jump left, air roll right, and the reason for that is so that you can have your car facing the correct direction. So if I was to jump off and just turn, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do what we want it to do. So jump left, turn right doesn't do anything. Jump left, air roll right will face your car towards the goal and have you in an upright position, which will be easier to air dribble, especially for beginners. Okay, now it's going to be the same for the other way. So if you're going to the right, you're going to want to air roll to the left, and easy as that. Now you can either use the normal air roll binding, which looks like that, or you can use air roll left or air roll right to do this as well, which personally I find to be a lot easier. It did take me a little bit of time to get used to it, but having to jump left and air roll right using normal air roll and the analog stick isn't very easy. It's doable because that's how I used to do it all the time. In fact, I'm gonna do that right here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it for that part. The next thing that I'd recommend is for the positioning of where you want to actually hit the ball. So you want to be on the underside of the ball. If you're on the pinched off a scene. If you're on the upper side of the ball, you're going to push the ball downwards, and that's not what we want. We want to either go straight across or up. Okay. So being on the underside of the ball is definitely going to give you an advantage. If you're on the top side like here, you're just going to go downwards. It's not going to benefit anyone, especially yourself, which is the entire point of this. So you want to be hitting that sort of sweet spot underside of the ball. If you want to be traveling forward, you want to be a little bit further up than normal. So you can see the position there that I'm aiming for on the ball is sort of halfway between the middle of the ball and the bottom of the ball. So that's going to give you enough propulsion to go up and forward. Okay. The next thing that I'd recommend is feathering your boost. It's definitely not going to be recommended to just hold your boost, because it's going to be harder to control the car, it's going to be harder to control the ball, and more than likely you're going to end up pushing the ball further away from yourself, which is going to be a lot harder to catch up to. Especially if you're going full speed, it will be Supersonic, and once you've hit the ball and you're in Supersonic and the ball's in Supersonic, you're not catching it. 100% chance you are not catching it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't feel like I'm missing anything there. I mean, the other thing I'd probably say to get comfortable with is air roll. It's going to make a big difference in this sort of scenario. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a few of the training packs that I've used to better myself for air dribbles. That's probably one of the easiest ways, is just using free play, pick the ball up off a spawn point, which I'll show you here quickly. So spawn in, grab the ball, straight up the wall. And sorry, I was trying to go for a flip reset there, but I think I just got like 3 wheels on it or something. Huh. Looked like I got all 4. Well, yeah, so that's probably one of the easiest ways to practice it. I do have a training pack that I've made myself, which I actually made for multiple resets, or practicing multiple resets. But the starting position is a good position. It stops you from having to sort of drive up to the ball off of spawn every time, and it's quite a good position as well, because it's not like a short air dribble. It's sort of like a medium range air dribble. There's only one shot in the pack, so I'd recommend just sort of like, if you mess up, just restart. If you score it, restart. But it's definitely a good way to practice. The next training pack that I'd recommend is high level shots. There are 2 shots in this pack which are going to be good for air dribbling. So let me just get to those shots quickly and I will show you. Alright, so this is the first shot. So this is an air dribble off the left wall going towards the right goal. So when you're doing this, you're going to want to jump to the right and air roll to the left. So I'm just going to show you that now. I'm not going to try and score the shot immediately. I'm just going to get the takeoff right and just show you what that looks like. So the first 3 steps here are match the speed of the ball. Either want to be going as fast or slower than the ball. Next thing is to jump off the wall and press the analog stick in the right direction, so you're facing towards the goal, and air roll to the left. So let's try that now. There we go. And again. And again. So it's pretty easy. It's definitely... I mean, I say it's easy. It's harder than it looks. It's going to take some practice. Definitely get your muscle memory to take everything aboard. But what I'd recommend, as you saw me doing at the start of this shot, just get the lift off right. That's all you want at the moment. You just want to be able to pick the ball up and have it on the hood of your car, facing towards the goal. That's the main goal here. After that, you can sort of practice your movement, your positioning of the ball underneath. Your positioning of the car underneath the ball, and maybe even work on some air rolls, so like that. So as I say, the goal here is not to score, it's just to sort of practice, get used to the ball physics, get used to the car's physics, and get the mechanic of jumping off of the wall and air rolling into your head, into your muscle memory. That's what's going to benefit you the most here. The rest of it is basically just trying to pay attention to the specific spot in the ball that you need to be hitting, and try and move your car so that you're into a position that you can hit that spot. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to... So yeah, I'm going to score it a couple of times and then I'm going to move on to the next one. Oh, that was quite nice actually, I might just leave it there. Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the next shot, which I think it's shot number 9 or shot number 8. Alright guys, so this is shot number 10 on the same training pack, high level shots, which I will give you the code for after this video, where you can go back and get it from the training menu. But basically, this is a ground-to-air dribble. As you can see, it's from way back in your own half, almost in your own corner. And I'm going to do this the way that I normally would, which is to take ball cam off. Now, I don't know why, but I usually take ball cam off when I'm doing ground to air dribbles, as opposed to wall to air dribbles. I always keep them on. Honestly, I couldn't tell you why. It's probably a comfort thing. I'm sure most people can do ground to air dribbles with ball cam on as well. But yeah, so I've always found ground to air dribbles to be a little bit more difficult than water air dribbles. Yeah, as I say, I'm not really as good at ground to air dribbles because I don't have nearly as much practice. But the premise of it is pretty much the same. You want to be hitting that same spot in the ball. If anything, you might want to be a little bit further under. I don't know. I've always found ground to air dribbles to be more difficult. The main thing that I would recommend for them is boost up until you reach the ball. So boost to the ball and then stop boosting as the ball's about to land on your car, and that will allow you to control the ball a lot easier. From there, if you was to hold boost, it wouldn't really make much of a difference. It would just sort of balance on your car because you'd already be going the same speed as the ball. If you keep boosting like that, it's just going to keep knocking the ball ahead of you until it is in that position sort of on top of your car. So that's the only thing that I would recommend to do differently in ground to air dribbles is how you boost. Basically, you want to catch the ball before you go boosting off. Yeah, so as I say, it's a bit more difficult for me. Probably isn't for everyone. Everyone's different. Some people probably find this easier than water air dribbles. Maybe if I had even half the amount of time with ground to air as I do with water air, I might be a bit better at it, but unfortunately I don't have quite as much time here. But this is definitely a good shot to practice with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you this training pack. So it's here on the featured page, high level shots. The download code is on the right hand side there. And then you can pop that in from this menu as well. You can just press X or square to enter the code. So yeah, other than that, there's a few other air dribble training packs that you can use. This one's pretty good. Codes there on the right hand side, they're all on the browse and featured pages at the moment, other than this one here, which is my own. The download code is just there for yourselves if you want that. Yeah, so these two are good packs too. I haven't played them as much, so I can't sort of recommend particular shots to try, but there's definitely some good shots in both of those, and also this air dribbles wall and ground pack. Yeah, so just sort of have a browse through. The main thing is to not stress yourself out. You don't want to tilt yourself. You've got to remember that you're learning a new mechanic. It's going to take some while for it to go. It's going to take a while for it to build into your muscle memory. If you can get it within sort of 50 hours of practice, that's brilliant. For me personally, to get a clean air dribble, it took maybe around 100 hours of pure air dribble practice. So yeah, it's not something that's going to be easy, but it's definitely something that is rewarding, and I have to say it's probably one of the things that I'm most proud of learning in the entire game. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one there, guys. Quick recap before I end the video. Match the speed of the ball. You want to be going either the same speed as the ball or slower than the ball, not faster than the ball. When you jump off the wall, press the analog stick in the direction that you're trying to go. So if you're going towards the left goal, obviously this is going to be depending on which way you're facing, which wall you're facing. So if you're facing this wall and you want to go that way, it's left. If you want to go that way, it's right. And you air roll in the opposite direction, with either normal air roll or air roll left or right. Yeah. Other than that, feather your boost. Don't overhit the ball. Be gentle with it, and try and hit it in this sort of position that's halfway between the middle of the ball and the bottom of the ball, and maybe even a little bit lower. Other than that, get a load of practice in the training packs that I've recommended, and I can guarantee you, you will improve at air dribbles. Alright guys, so I hope you have a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and take it easy. Peace.